Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dirain and today we continue diving into the drama and novel Lost You Forever, comparing the two versions of the story. If you missed previous parts, I highly recommend checking them out before you continue this video. And if you don't want to miss my next videos, subscribe! In the morning, with Xiao by his side and toxin out of his body, Xuan feels happy. He and Xiao share a sweet moment in the drama that wasn't in the novel. At this point in the drama, we already understand that Xuan's feelings towards Xiao are more than brotherly love. As for the novel readers, well, it's not that clear there, and can still pretty much be read as brother-sister affection. As I mentioned many times before, this is a reverse harem drama, so showing the man going crazy about Xiao is fitting for the type of the story we have. And we see many smaller and bigger scenes throughout the drama that point out Xuan's feelings. But one thing is for sure, Xiao has no point in any version of the story where she truly sees Xuan as more than her brother. Even if we look at that scene from the drama with the promise she made when they were kids, first of all, they were kids. Second of all, she probably mostly said that because marrying him would mean that they would spend more time together, and she wanted that because they were close. Of course, she didn't think about anything further than that at that age, and afterwards she treated him as her family, with care and love, but not romantic love. Xiao receives 105 bottles of wine from Tushandin for each day they have not seen each other. In the drama, there were only 90 bottles, considering they were 6 crates with 15 bottles in each of them. Xuan asks Xiao what is it with Jin and the number 15. If you remember, he asked her to not let other men inside her heart for 15 years. So this way he was kind of reminding her about that promise. Xiao was busy with Xuan and his addiction, so she didn't have time to meet Jin, and now she finally has the opportunity again. And she uses that opportunity. In this episode, we also have a foreshadowing of what's to come as Xinyue is bursting with jealousy, asking her brother to influence Xuan and make him stop seeing other women. Fanglong warns her that Xuan is not the type of man to be devoted to one woman. His royal ambitions take up most of his time and efforts, so there's no way he will simply put it all aside for Xinyue, especially after what he had to go through. Fanglong also tells Xinyue not to think of marrying Xuan if she's not ready to endure other women near him, but she insists. I love this addition from the drama because it shines a light on Xinyue's arrogant and possessive nature, as well as highlight Fanglong's care for her and his understanding of the bigger picture. Back to Xiao and Tushandin, who spent time together in a simplistic hut. This secluded hut at the top of Caoao Peak was once a home of none other than Xiao's biological father, Chichan. Xiao and Jin meet there and decide to make it their secret spot. A very important change occurs here. In the drama, after hearing that Jin doesn't want to kill his half-brother, Xiao confesses her feelings for him. In the novel, there was no such thing. She did tell Jin that she likes him being this way because she's surrounded by cold-hearted people and is cold-hearted herself, but it is clearly not the same as saying that you like someone. There is also one scene in the novel that I want to mention, and that wasn't even mentioned in the drama. There was a body of water and a small waterfall near the hut. At one point, Xiao wanted to go swimming with Jin. She took his fish Amethyst, that makes you able to breathe underwater, and dove deep with Jin. Of course, even with his high spiritual power, he was bound to need air at some point. Xiao's plan was to transfer him some air, mouth to mouth, just like someone else did to her. But as she tried doing it, Jin protested and got them out of the water. Xiao angrily asked Jin why did he stop her, and he replied, because the one in your eyes back there wasn't me. Who could it be other than our one and only beloved and perfect Tushandin? There is no way she could have thought about some freaks like that nine-headed snake, for example. No. But yes, I kinda think she thought about Xiang, because there are not so many options there for that kind of scene. What was done here is just vile. The absolute shift of the tone and the 180 flip of the sequence is insane to me. They take out the scene where Xiao is trying to recreate the underwater kiss she had with Xiang, and they add her confession to Jin instead. If this is not enough for you to see the drama's attitude and direction, well, I have so much more to tell you in the upcoming episodes, especially in the second season. Just you wait and stay tuned. And don't forget to subscribe to see it all. Anyway, Xiao speaks with Xuan about Jin and then receives a report on Fanfanbei's background from Xuan. In the novel, we immediately see what was written in that report. Fanfanbei was talented enough, but still not as talented as his older brother and sister. What is more, he was a son of the concubine, so no matter how hard he tried, he could never be compared to his siblings. Bitter about that, he started gambling and got into huge debts. Wanting to earn some money to repay those debts, he traveled to the North Pole in search of ice crystals. 50 years had passed. Everyone in his family believed him dead, but suddenly he came back with lots of those crystals. He paid back his debts and started taking care of his bedridden mother, feeding her meals, staying at her side every day until the day she died. Xiao suspected that the real Bei died in the North Pole and the one who returned in his stead was Xiang. That would mean that the adult Fanfanbei, that easygoing, flamboyant playboy, was Xiang right from the start. He loved to spend money but didn't have a lot of it, so he would take on all kinds of tasks to earn his living. Oftentimes he would disappear for months or even years, but it was just something he did, so everyone was used to it at this point. He also didn't have any ambition, so both his brother and sister had cordial relationship with him. Xiao tried hard to understand what was in it for Xiang. He became Fanfanbei around 400 years ago, when she hadn't even been born yet. Not like being a concubine's son in this family would bring him any benefits or get him close to any important people or something like that. The longer Xiao thought about it, the less she understood, so she decided not to think anymore. We will continue this topic in a short while as we get to it in the drama. In the middle of summer, Xingyue invited Xiao and Sanxuan to her and Fenlong's birthday party. As usual, Xiao in the novel was wearing a veil in a crowded place. Xingyue wanted to persuade her to take the veil off, and Yiyin, who happened to approach them at the same moment, also told Xiao that she cannot hide her face forever. Then they entered a room hidden by curtains and saw Jin with Fenlong playing qi and Fanfanbei and Tu Shanhou laying on a pallet and drinking wine. In the drama, Yiyin was also in the room with Bei and Hou as Xiao entered. Moreover, we see the gazes she and Hou throw at each other's direction, thinking that Bei either doesn't notice or is too careless to give a damn about. Seeing Xiao, Yiyin of course comes to take Xiao to her brother. Whether she did it to get rid of the witness and be able to stay with her lover, or she wanted to help her brother meet his beloved woman, it is not clear. What is clear is Xiao didn't expect to see Xiang amongst the crowd and was a bit pissed that he would take such a risk just to party, so she lost her composure a bit there, surprising everyone around. The novel Xiao was calm in this scene and only screamed at Bei later in the maze. As Xiao accused him of being reckless, Bei casually and calmly told her that they were in the Central Plains. But in the novel he didn't explain in detail why Central Plains weren't a dangerous place for someone like him to be. Xiao came to the conclusion herself. Afterwards, they had a conversation about him quote-unquote playing Fanfanbei, and Xiao found out that the real Fanfanbei was on the brink of death when Xianglou found him, and Xianglou agreed to take his place and take care of his sick mother in exchange for devouring the real Fanfanbei's spiritual energy and blood, which made Xianglou much stronger. So Xianglou took care of Bei's mother for 4 years and retained his role as the Fanfan family's second son. In the drama, we get a very deep moment where Xiang states that he got the better end of the bargain, as being Fan Fanbei finally allowed him to know maternal love. And now, I want to really look at this deal from Xiang's perspective. He met Fan Fanbei before he went back to join Hongjian's rebel army. It all started as a deal where he got leveled up from eating a willing god. But what he got was much more than that. Xiang is a 9-headed demon snake, whose form and background were always bringing him trouble. Everyone hated him for just being the way he was. He had to constantly fight for survival, etc. I've already talked about it. Becoming Fan Fanbei opened so many doors for him he didn't even know existed. He got the motherly love he never felt before and the affection from Bei's siblings, who didn't see him as a threat and thus treated him sincerely. He could also roam the world freely in his disguise and not be afraid to be beaten and humiliated the way it was before. He didn't have any problem with having to do dirty work for money, so he could always go earn some and spend it all right away. And Bei wasn't someone who had a lot to think about or worry about. As the spare son, he wasn't burdened with responsibilities or bound to his place in the clan. It was a perfect deal in my personal opinion. I also like the phrase from the novel that didn't make it to the drama, as usual. After Xiao tells that Xiang continued pretending to be Fan Fanbei, Xiang states that she herself had changed more disguises than he did. He asked her if all of her disguises were a new person that she had to play. Xiao told him that no matter how she changed, she was still her. This is very important in my opinion because it establishes another level of understanding between them. After noticing that Jin is looking for Xiao, Bei plays a trick and Xiao almost hurts Jin in the novel. In the drama, Jin actually gets hurt, we see his palm bleeding, and as he throws Bei's ice arrow back at Bei, we see Xiao's rather concerned look. But the arrow doesn't reach Bei and disintegrates in the air. In the novel, Jin didn't throw it, he just gave the arrow to Bei. But anyway, Xiao runs off to get away from them, and after Bei finds her, she states that they will see who will torment, play, and be mean to whom. And well, do I even need to say anything? I don't think so. In the novel, Bei suggested that Xiao can go explore the maze, but she refused. He told her not to regret it later, and after watching the scene in the drama, we kind of know why. He probably wanted Xiao to see Yiying and Tu Shanhou together. He even starts saying it, but as soon as Xiao hears the surname, she thinks it is about Yiying and Jing and refuses. Remember a bit earlier when Jin wanted to follow Xiao? Bei told him that he has just seen Yiying and that she is looking for Jin. On one hand, we can interpret this as if he wanted to be alone with Xiao and stop Jin from following her. But maybe he was trying to gently push Jin to find out Yiying and Hou. We will never know, but we can still suggest. Xiao and Bei get back and get themselves right into the game that the guests started to play. Whoever got the turn had to show some skill, like reciting poetry, playing instruments, and other usual noble people stuff. Unfortunately for Xiao, it was their turn, but fortunately for Xiao, Xiang knew some tricks. He asked her to stand in the middle where everyone could see her and started enchanting her robes to change color. He knew that Xiao didn't like too much attention, so he only did the trick a couple of times. Fanglong, who was mesmerized by Xiao's looks at the ceremony in Haolin, wanted to see her in red again and asked Bei to do one last transformation. In a red robe, with an annoyed look on her face, Xiao turned around, bowed to the crowd, and wanted to leave when one of the guests started screaming. We read that the girl and the man sitting next to her were the survivors from one of the noble families, destroyed by Chechen. They were both little at that time, but they could have never escaped the nightmares, and could have never forgotten the eyes of the killer who didn't care about anything, and also his red clothes. This scream went almost unnoticed, and the company returned to the room. As Fanglong and Sanxuan sat down to play tea, everyone else took a spot around them. them. Jin ended up sitting between Yiying and Xiao, much to Yiying's displeasure. Xiao noticed the look of repulsion and disgust that Yiying threw at Jin before standing up and going to sit next to Bei and Ho. After some time, Xiao felt uncomfortable, as if a poisonous snake was looking at her. And no, it wasn't Xiang. Someone she didn't know was staring at her for some time, and she asked people around her who it was. As we already know, there were survivors from the families Xiang destroyed at the banquet, and that man was one of them. The conversation suddenly shifts to the demon general who fought and died for the Central Plains, but was hated as if he was their worst enemy after his death. Xinyue said that it's no wonder since he killed so many people, but she was confronted by Fan Bei. Bei told her that anyone can curse Xiang, except for Chenrong family. Naturally, the arrogant Xinyue couldn't take being lectured by someone in front of the others, especially not by someone as quote-unquote insignificant as Fan Bei. The small exchange quickly escalated to something bigger, with Xinyue saying that Yiying isn't even married into the Tushan family yet, so she cannot keep hiding behind her engagement. In the novel, Jin softly but firmly called Xinyue's name, signaling for her to stop. In the drama, he just stood there, pathetically. The one speaking up was Tushan Ho, and Jin just didn't know what to do, I guess. Also, in the drama, Fenglong apologizes to Jin at first for some reason that I cannot fathom. In the novel, he apologizes to Yiying directly, but she thinks that he is only doing it because of Jin and is still displeased. But not much time passes before Xinyue and Yiying speak to each other as if nothing ever happened between them, unlike the drama where it all becomes awkward and uncomfortable, so Xiao and Changxuan leave. With that, we have come to the end of this video. I hope my analysis brought you joy and made you see something differently, or simply reminded you of the beauty of the novel and its complex view of the main characters. Thank you for watching till the end, leaving a like and commenting. Stay healthy, happy, and take care of yourselves. Till the next video!